This looks really bad because I have 2 of these, but it's fine. We're fine. It's okay. So don't look up here. That's like my crochet things that I need to like get out of the way. Just don't look there right now. So hi, my name's Emma with Emma's Loops and Stitches. If you're coming from my TikTok, hi. That's where most of my traffic's coming from right now, is TikTok. So I have an Etsy shop. I think I already said this in my first video when it was the yarn haul. It was like December, so it's been a few months. But so I'm just basically doing like how my sale was pretty much, and like what's coming up on my Etsy shop, what's coming up on my sales and everything like that, on my markets, sorry. So basically I'm trying to like put this on words. So I sold enough to where my registration fee was covered and a little extra after that. I think I sold like $30 extra after that. So I had a market on Friday, July 28th, and today's Monday, so I'm just kind of going over how my weekend went, I guess. So Friday I had that. It was at a brewery, and it was there weren't many people there that were like shopping, honestly. They were there for the music, like the live music, which, you know, that's not, I'm not mad about that. And it was also an excessive heat warning where I am, so that kind of went into effect because we were supposed to be outside, but we were all inside, and then there was like a bunch of vendors that were like, we're not coming. So yeah. Drove an hour just to get there, and then yeah, luckily I was one of those vendors. I'm grateful for that. I was one of those vendors that sold a lot. Me and I think one of like the pet supply, like the ones that do the bandanas. Oh, I have a piece of fabric right there, sorry guys, just ignore it. One of the vendors. So I mean, I think a lot of people were upset, but at the same time you had to look into the factors that were there, like excessive heat warning, and it was just too hot to go to a brewery, honestly. Like, and I know there was more coming on this weekend too, where they had a shorter one for 3 hours. So yeah. So what I brought with me, I brought 3 bees. I brought 7 mini octos, and then I brought 4 anxiety balls, 3 whales, and then 6 or 5 fried eggs. I can't remember. My fried eggs didn't sell at all. There weren't many kids there, which a lot of times at breweries, if there's like a big event going on, then they'll bring their kids. Like my Father's Day one, I made a lot of money because kids, but I didn't have enough like on the groupies, and I'm like, okay, like we need to reestablish where we're at with this, and then, or reevaluate, sorry, not reestablish, we need to evaluate. I feel like I said that wrong. Sorry if I said that wrong, but I was like, we just need to reevaluate and then go. So that's when last week, literally, I was just crocheting the whole week. My hands were cramping by Friday night. I was just like, ugh. But yeah. So yeah, I sold all 3 of my bees. I sold 5 octos because now I have 2 left. I have a green one and a blue one. I'll show you that little octo right here. And I did like the oval eyes. I did like the big circle eyes on my blue one. My blue one's like in the bag somewhere. I'm just not even worrying about it right now. But yeah, so this little guy, sold majority of them. I sold out on a lot of my pink ones and my purple ones because I had like a couple of those. I think I have 2 each of those. And then I sold these for $8, and they sold like it. Yeah. So how I determine my cost, so we're gonna go back into this, but how I determine my cost is how long it took me, the materials, and I think I add tax because my square, because I use square, so I just add on tax to that. So that's where it got me to $8. So yeah. On Etsy though, they're cheaper. I will say that. I think I put them at 6. I didn't put them at 8. a lot of my things on Etsy are cheaper than what I sell at the markets. So if you are like a person from one of my markets, go to my Etsy, shop there, because it's cheaper that way. And yeah, and shipping's already added in to that, so just do that. So yeah, so those sold by Mini Octos. My 3Bs sold for $12, which I knew those were going to sell for $12, because if my thinking is, if you want them that, if someone wants them that bad enough, they'll get it. And that's kind of where you have to have that mindset, is don't change your prices because you think people are saying it's too high. It's not too high. You just have to find the right person that that item belongs to, and there you go. But my bees sold for $12. I think one was even one of my event coordinators. So she was like, I want this now. And I was like, okay, here you go. And she bought it and everything. And then I didn't just have amigurumis on my table, by the way, but I'll get into that. And then I sold 2 anxiety balls and then 1 whale. So that's where we are on that. I also had on my table my wine bottle cozies, and they were selling for, I had them selling for $8. But here's the thing, I might have to drop down that price, because not many people like want to buy it, because they're like, oh, it's, I don't need that. But I put a ribbon through it. If I don't know how to explain it, my bucket is downstairs. I should have brought it upstairs, but I put a ribbon through it, and they can easily like cinch it up and tie it. That's what the ribbon's for. And so I added those like at my Father's Day one, because I was like, let's make this look like it can go for a gift. So yeah, so I had those on the table. I had my cast iron skillet panhandle covers. Those sell at certain markets. I don't know how to explain where they sell at. Like, it's hard to explain. I feel like not many people have cast iron skillets unless you're like not in the city, and I was in a city, so yeah, because not a lot of people have those, I guess, if they're in a city or whatever. I just, yeah. But so I had those out. I only had a few out because I was like, I'm not going to put all these out. And then I had towel handles. Is that how you explain it? Is that, I think that's how I have it called. But basically, the button, you have a button on it, and then you put it over, and then you put it on your oven handle or anywhere in your kitchen, and then you put, or in your bathroom, and then you put a towel through the little hole. And that sold to one lady, because she's like, oh my goodness, I have towels that have the loops on them, but I can't change the towel because they've been sewed in, which that's normal with those towels. And she's like, I'm glad I found this, because wow, those were going to go on my Etsy shop. I never had the chance when I first started making them to put them on my Etsy shop, because they sell like only 1 or 2 sells at each event, and right now I'm down to 3. So I'm just like, let me just sell these out and we'll go from there. And they're not in very pretty colors. I had like black, white, gray, and then I had like I had like extra yarn, like I had scrap yarn, and I was like, well, let me do it this way. So I had like how do I explain it? I had, oh, how do I explain this? It's like a rusty color. I think I still have some, but it's like a rusty color, and then I had a nasty like gold color. So I was like, these 2 probably won't sell. But yeah. So I had those out. I had, and my panhandle covers were only selling for like $3. My towel holders were selling for $3, and then I had wine glass cozies for the stem. I might do a video on how I make those, because it's not that like hard on TikTok. Like, I'm just gonna go shoot, 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 you know. But I sold those for $3, and those used to sell really nice. If people like, no. So I have like extra things out, so it's not just amigurumis. But, and then I also had beer can cozies, and a lot of people were asking me, they're like, do you have those? And I'm like, they're right there. They're right there. They're hiding. And so yeah. And I only had like 3 of the tall ones, and then 2 of like the little ones, or it's the other way around. It might be the other way around. But yeah. So I had those. None of that stuff sold except like one of the towel holders. So I was just like, okay, as long as one of them sells. but I still made money on my gardening things. So yeah. What is coming up next? I have a yard sale on Saturday. It's my yard sale. It's gonna be in front of my house, but I'm selling my business things too into it, and I had to drop the price for those because it's a yard sale, which I'm not too mad about, because that's like more cash than going on my Square, and if it's more cash, then I'm just like, okay, this is fine. What else? So I'm probably gonna make more octos. My little notebook is in my truck, so I have to grab that because it has like everything that I need to make. I'm gonna see how my eggs do. Yeah. And then I do hand sewing. So this is where my things get more expensive. I do hand sewing. It doesn't come to my market though, because I'm just like, I need to perfect it. But I have like a little pouch right now, little anchors, and I put yarn through it, but I kind of messed up where my holes are, so I need to like perfect this. And you can kind of tell, like, one side's shorter than the other side, so you know I messed this up. So, but it's pretty deep, to be honest. Let's just do this. Okay. So, and it comes out like that, and it's pretty deep. But yeah, so I do hand sewing, and I want to start getting more items that are hand sewn, because I feel like those are so good too. They're so good, but they'll be more expensive. That's the only thing. So I'm trying to tie this back up. Also, what I'm putting on my Etsy shop right now. So when I first started doing markets, I had stitch markers and I had stitch marker containers. I'm like, there's gonna be probably a lot of crocheters. There's not a lot of crocheters and a lot of knitters, and that's why I did a TikTok, and I was like, what I don't sell, because nobody knows what stitch markers are. And even some crocheters, I had like one crocheter lady, and she had a different booth setup, so it wasn't for crochet, it was for like, I think like, I don't remember, I think it was for Scentsies. Nothing wrong with Scentsies, I was just trying to, yeah. But it was for Scentsies, and she was like, well, I just take my hook and just, you know, make a big loop and I don't lose it. I'm like, I mean, if that's what you do, then that's what you do. But I have these here for people that, you know, normally use them. And so yeah, those don't sell. I did sell them at like this one church, because one crocheter was like, I think she was like 16, and 16, 17. She was young. She was younger than me. And her mom came in and she's like, what are these? And I told her what they were for. And luckily I had the giant lobster clasps. They're not giant, but they're like big enough to get around chenille yarn. And she's like, what can go around that yarn? And I showed her, I said, these can definitely go around that yarn. You just gotta be careful. Because sometimes even with the lobster clasp, and even on the chunky yarn, even how big it is, like, it can sometimes split it. And yeah. So that's why my stitch markers are only on Etsy, because I feel like if it's on Etsy, more crocheters and all that will see it. I did down the price on those though, because I was like, these are too expensive, and my materials for it is not that much. So I was just like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So for my pack of 4s, they're $4. For my pack of 8, they're $6, and for my pack of 12, they're $8. So the pack of 12 stayed the same. The 4 and the 8, they changed. So hopefully in the next couple weeks they go. So those are on there. I have my fried eggs on there officially. I have my octos on there officially, and I have my whales. I've always had my whales on there, but there's more pictures on there. I think I just put the octos and the fried eggs on there, and my anxiety balls are already on there. So yeah, and right now there's a sale going on for my anxiety balls. They're like $1.60 right now. So if you're one of those people who came from my TikTok, favorited it, it's $1.60 right now. So yeah, there's that. I think that's pretty much it. I don't have another sale coming up for a little bit, honestly. I think, yeah, I really don't have one coming up in a long while. I think the next one is like in August, because the one from Friday, it's a 3 series market, and my next one is until like the middle of August. So Yeah. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully I make more that time. I just need to make more things. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so that's pretty much all for this video. I just wanted to go over, like, in my Etsy. I know it's all over the place because I, like, when I think of something, like, oh, then there's this. But yeah, so if you are a crocheter or you're someone that watches my TikToks or anything like that, go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna try to do weekly, like, probably the weekly things on here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and in my Etsy shop, I'm adding another pattern. It's for my dishcloths because I'm just like, I don't make enough of those to sell them. So yeah, anyway, I will probably see y'all next week on YouTube. Go ahead and follow my TikTok and my Etsy shop, and